Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Let's talk about something that's been buzzing around the NFL and more specifically in the NFC South, which is a division that's always full of surprises. The Atlanta Falcons, a team with a rich history and a promising future, might be making some interesting moves in the upcoming weeks. And one of the most talked about possibilities right now involves a name that's been making headlines across the league, Christian Wilkins. That's right, the same Christian Wilkins who had a brief stint with the Las Vegas Raiders after beginning his career with the Miami Dolphins. His situation has become a hot topic because, just yesterday, Wilkins was shockingly released by the Raiders, leaving many fans and analysts wondering where he might land next. This kind of move sends ripples through the league, and it's especially intriguing for teams like the Falcons, who are always looking to strengthen their roster, particularly on the defensive line. Why? Well, if you look at the Falcons' defensive setup, they've been trying to build a formidable unit that can compete against the best offenses in the league. And with the recent departure of Grady Jarrett, who was a cornerstone of their pass rush for years, the team is clearly in the market for some serious reinforcements up front. This is where Wilkins enters the scene as a potential game changer. Now, it's important to understand the kind of player Wilkins is. He's a defensive tackle who has made a name for himself as one of the best pass rushers at his position in the NFL. Last offseason, he signed a massive $110 million deal with the Raiders. That's no small feat, folks. It speaks volumes about his talent and the high regard in which he's held across the league. Wilkins is known for his explosive quickness off the line and his ability to disrupt passing plays, which makes him an ideal fit for a defensive scheme that relies on pressure and penetration. But of course, there's a big question mark hanging over his current situation: health. After his release from the Raiders, reports indicate that Wilkins is still recovering from a procedure he didn't initially believe he needed. He's been trying to come back from an injury that typically takes 3 to 4 months to fully heal. The thing is, Wilkins has yet to be fully cleared, and that's why the interest from teams like the Falcons might involve a careful evaluation process. NFL insider James Palmer, speaking on Bleacher Report's YouTube show, mentioned that the Falcons have some level of interest in him, but the landing depends on a lot of factors, including how well he can prove his health and fitness. Palmer also pointed out that this isn't an instant signing situation. Teams want to see Wilkins take visits, undergo physicals, and get a clear picture of where he's at physically. That's standard procedure for a player coming off an injury, especially for someone who's been a key part of a defense like Wilkins has. The process will take some time, and it's not a guarantee he'll land in Atlanta, but the potential is definitely there. If he is healthy and can return to his old form, Wilkins would be a massive boost to the Falcons' defensive line, especially considering they're in a bit of a transition period. Think about it, the Falcons, under head coach Raheem Morris and general manager Terry Fontenot, are clearly aware of the need to improve their front seven. They've already invested in young talent like Michael Penix Jr., who's stepping in as the new starting quarterback, signaling a shift towards a more aggressive and dynamic team on offense. On defense, they drafted edge rushers like Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. in the first round of this year's draft, trying to bolster their pass rush and create more havoc for opposing quarterbacks. In their base 3-4 defense, Rook Orhorhoro is expected to step into the role previously held by Jarrett. However, Orhorhoro has shown flashes at best, and he's still unproven at this level. That's where a player like Wilkins could be a real upgrade, a veteran presence capable of making an immediate impact. His ability to collapse the pocket from the interior would help free up the edge rushers and take some pressure off the secondary as well. Of course, the big question remains, will Wilkins be able to get healthy enough to contribute this season? The Falcons, like any team, will weigh the risks and rewards carefully. If he can prove his fitness and regain his full strength, he could be a key piece in their defensive puzzle. But if not, the team might have to look elsewhere or focus on developing their younger players. It's a delicate balance, and the NFL is all about timing and health, especially for a player coming off an injury. Now, let's also consider the broader context of the Falcons' roster and their season outlook. The team is entering year 2 under Raheem Morris, and the expectations are higher than ever. The NFC South is a division that's always competitive, with teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints, and Carolina Panthers all vying for supremacy. The Falcons know they can't afford to fall behind, especially with a talented young quarterback like Michael Penix Jr. taking the reins and looking to make an immediate impact. Adding a player like Wilkins, if he's healthy, would send a message to the rest of the division that the Falcons are serious about contending. It would also give them a boost in their quest to improve their pass rush and run defense, which have been areas of concern at times in recent seasons. With Wilkins' experience and talent, he could become a stabilizing force on the interior, helping the Falcons close the gap on their division rivals and perhaps even set the stage for a deep playoff run. But the NFL is unpredictable, and players' health is always a wild card. Wilkins' recovery will be closely monitored in the coming weeks, and fans will be eagerly watching to see if he makes any visits or signs with a new team. This could be a pivotal moment for the Falcons' defense, and ultimately, for their entire season. Imagine the impact of having Wilkins anchoring the interior, alongside the young and talented prospects they've drafted and developed. It would be a huge step forward in their defensive evolution. And let's not forget, the Falcons have a passionate fan base that's been craving a return to the playoffs and a shot at the Super Bowl. The team has laid a foundation with their draft picks and strategic signings, and now they might be looking to add that final piece to push them over the edge. Wilkins' potential addition could be just that, a difference maker who can change the course of their season and help them compete at the highest level. So, as we keep an eye on this situation, it's essential to remember that nothing is set in stone yet. The process will involve visits, physicals, and negotiations, but the possibility of seeing Wilkins in a Falcons uniform is certainly intriguing. It's a move that could pay off big time if his health checks out, giving the Falcons a much-needed boost on defense. And with the NFC South as competitive as ever, every upgrade counts. Now, I want to emphasize again, this is a developing story, and we'll be here to bring you all the latest updates as they happen. The NFL offseason is full of surprises, and this one might be one of the biggest for the Falcons in recent memory. They're clearly looking to build a team that can not just compete, but excel, and adding a player like Wilkins could be a step toward that goal. So keep your eyes open, Falcons fans, because the next few weeks could be very exciting. Whether or not Wilkins joins the team, one thing is for sure: the Falcons are not standing still. They're actively looking for ways to improve, to get better, and to bring that winning mentality back to Atlanta. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Wilkins is the missing piece for this defense? Are you optimistic about his health and potential impact? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. Thanks for being here, and as always, stay passionate, stay dedicated, and let's keep supporting our team every step of the way.